This is going to be another short video of something that I typed up 12/24/23. It's kind of a couple different things because this was actually a comment that I had left under a video about a lot of different things, really. The video is by J Marvelous, and there's a lot of different things in here that I say based off the different topics of the video, but I'm going to focus on the main point for what I want to put up here, because I'm going to be talking a lot about trauma-based mind control eventually on here, and the Cash for Kids system. This was something that I pieced together. I started to piece together fully, and I think like sometime in 2022, early 2022, specifically because I was in the Cash for Kids system, and so I was lucky enough to always be the type of person where I really try to understand things and understand what's going on around me, and I not only look at what's happening to me in my situation, but also the situations of the people around me. And that's what made it easier for me to piece together the whole Cash for Kids system, and not just talk about the little bits and pieces like CPS or TTIs. But anyway, to get to the point of this video, the height of paganism and Luciferianism is child abuse. It also ties into MKultra / trauma-based mind control. There are different types of trauma-based mind control, such as buck breaking, which is a type of Virgo Vasal trauma-based mind control where the slaves would be essayed, the Hebrew slaves and even other groups of people would be essayed, and this would break them down and then make the women not feel like they have safety with the men because the men were being essayed and all that stuff. So another point of that was also to put sexual perversion and hypersexuality and marine spirit curses on Hebrews and other melanated people, but that's kind of another story. Then another type was Willie Lynch syndrome, which is a type of self-hatred program, and there's different types on different groups of melanated people. So there's different types of colorism, basically. Although Willie Lynch syndrome is a little deeper than just colorism, it's a couple different things in there that revolve around self-hatred. So like the quote-unquote black women turned against the quote-unquote black men, which I'm going to have a couple of videos where I mention different things I've noticed with that. But anyway, in the industry and in global SRA sex trafficking, well, in the music industry, I don't know why I just have in the industry right there, but in the music industry, or really the entertainment industries in general, and in global SRA sex trafficking, they use this to program and give kids a form of DID, and they do that easily because trauma creates holes in the soul / voids, which let in demons. And the demons are what causes mental illness. Well, the now marketing scheme of mental illness anyway, because of course, that's really just something that was created for eugenics and also for a lot of racial stuff, but for eugenics and the profit off of people's issues from trauma, because mental illness comes from trauma and generational trauma. And so that's why when people are trying to be racist or whatever, they'll say things like all black people are crazy and all black people are traumatized and the parents, they're dysfunctional and all of that stuff. And all of it is generational trauma, which needs to be broken. I'm not one of those people that just wants there to be no accountability and everybody just raises messed up kids that walk around with their butt out, which that actually comes from buck breaking. They try to tell you started in prison, but that's actually not true. It comes from buck breaking, and it revolves around Virgo Vasal, which, for those who don't know, that's the sodomy ritual that creates basically something with the pain, and then it's really painful. So really with any trauma, it'll go like this. The kid has to find a way to escape the pain, so they dissociate. And then when they dissociate, that revolves around the voids that were created in their soul and how they had to escape. And when they're not present, the demons are present. And each demon goes into a different part of the soul, and that's the multiple personalities and things like DID and schizophrenia. And each personality can be programmed. And this is something that's heavily practiced in global SRA sex trafficking. But people need to make sure they're not confused about this. The global sex trafficking with kids is not the same thing as prostitution sex trafficking. Although I'm sure, especially from the different stories I've heard and people who went through it that I've known, it can intertwine, but usually it revolves around SRA as far as the one with kids. But prostitution, sex trafficking, that's something different, but they can intertwine. And then, what else do I have on here? Child abuse is not only written about by Aleister Crowley, because he writes about sex rituals with kids, and it revolves around Thelema, which I'll link a video in the description if I can find it. There's actually a video that I think his YouTube channel name is Conscious X or something, where he talked about the story of XXX Tentacion and what he described that boy went through when he was homeless at 17 and he was taken in by this music producer. What he described was actually Thelema. And so, yeah, that's that. So I'll link that because that's one good example. Okay, wait a minute. Where was I? It's not only written about by Aleister Crowley, but also in the you-know-who's, the people that run around Africa pretending to be the people. It's also written about in their Babylonian Talmud. And so, yeah, that's that. There's also some other names for it that I forgot to mention, because I was really looking for this other note that I thought I had, where I basically just laid out the different names for different types of trauma-based mind control. So I'll just name a couple right now, even some of the ones that I already mentioned. So MKultra, Monarch, which those are probably, they may be the same thing, but I know one was used on people in the military and people in prisons for like experiments and stuff. Then there was another type which revolves around the Virgo vessel that was used on foster kids, which I wish I would have mentioned that here. But anyway, what were the other types? Buck breaking, Willie Lynch syndrome, Virgo vessel, DID rituals. There was another name, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, beta sex kit and programming. That's used a lot in the music industry. And of course also in the SRA sex trafficking. And I swear there was more than just that though, but that's all I remember right now.